Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a review of with the Beatles' second album after Please Please Me. I already reviewed that one. I could link it below if you haven't seen it. If you're so inclined, you don't have to. These are my opinions, just a fair warning. I wrote them down old school in my Beatles Yellow Submarine tiny spiral notebook here. I listened to it, the album the other day. I don't have it to hold up like a lot of reviews do, but that's okay. I think you could survive without it, I hope. Anyway, we'll dive right in here. The first track is It Won't Be Long, which is a great song to open up this album, I think. It's very fast, get you in it. You know, it's a great John vocal on it. He is very into it, and you know, you could hear the drive in his voice for this one. It's good to sing along, and it's a fun song despite the subject of the song. You know, if once she left me and all that he sings about losing his girl, but it's fun to sing along to. I really enjoy that one. It's a great opener. There's not many albums that open up with such a strong song, I don't think. It's got that classic Beatles driving sound to it. You know, and it's got the yeah and the callback and all that. It's great. It's a good song. The second one is All I've Got to Do, which is a slow song, slowish. You know, bop your head to it. You know, you can sing along. John sounds got a nice, soothing, pretty vocal, I think, in this one. Sweet sentiment for that song. You know, it's one I could listen to more often than the rest of them. Third song, excuse me, All My Loving. Obviously, cute Paul. Girls love that one, I'm sure. Big hit song for them, nice and catchy. It seems like whenever he sang that one, all the girls screamed more. And it's got that typical classic Beatles song, Beatles sound. I keep saying song. Beatles sound that people identify with them very well. You know, I love the guitar sound in that one and the solo. It's just clean. I'm not going to say what guitar George played on it because I'm not as familiar with that as I am with like U2. But I'm assuming it's a Rickenbacker or a Gretsch because those seemed like to be the early George guitars there that he used most often. But it's a very clean sounding, well produced song. George Martin knew what he was doing with that one for sure. He knew that was going to be a hit. The fourth song is Don't Bother Me, which is the first song George ever wrote, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was sick when he wrote it and just obviously didn't want to be bothered, right? That's what I always heard about that one. It's a great... George sounds great singing it. There's no doubt about it. He doesn't have quite as thick of an accent on there. Really, all of his songs on this album. I don't know what happened there, but he kind of toned it down, it seemed like. And if you listen to it, think of the song Secret Agent Man. I'm not sure who does it, but you all know the song, right? You could look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's there. But it's got that kind of James Bond kind of vibe to it, which is a lot of fun. It's got a great guitar solo, too, on it. Simple but effective. It fits right in with the song. The fifth song is Little Child, which is kind of a throwaway song, it seems like. They didn't really work on it too much. Just kind of went and did it without thinking too much about it. It's good. Good dance number. I like the dual vocals of John Lennon on that one. Where they, what do they call it? Double track? Overdub? I don't know. I'm not technical. I'm not a musician. So you guys can correct me if you want on that one. I just like it. I know that John's singing twice over himself. It has a lot of harmonica in it and a solo harmonica part, which, I was listening to this and wondering what happened to his use of harmonica. It kind of stopped. I mean, I know there's harmonica in Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite, okay? But I mean, it seems like on the early albums there was a lot of harmonica being used by him, and then it kind of just was forgotten about when they got into heavier sounding songs. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I know the harmonica doesn't fit in a lot of their later songs, but it's just kind of weird that we just forgot about it. The sixth song is Till There Was You, which is from The Music Man. And it's another Paul Swooner, a crooner song, so to speak. Is another one to make the girls scream and shout and, cry and go on about themselves. And I usually kind of skip this one. It's sweet though. I mean, if it comes on the radio, I'll listen to it. Or if it's Beatle tribute band playing it, or if I'm watching the old Ed Sullivan shows, I'll keep it on. But generally, I don't go searching this song out. I do like Ringo's bongos in it. Those are always fun. And I do love how he says he never saw them at all. That's a pun on the bird thing, I think. If it's not, it turned out to be one if it wasn't done on purpose. I always liked that line. It was cute. The seventh song is Please Mr. Postman, which is a fun, rocking, good Motown cover. You can't go wrong with this one. It's another one that I don't go searching out, but if it comes up on the radio or on shuffle or anything like that, I will listen to it. I love the call and response between Paul and George and John singing the lead. He sings it so good. So good. I love early John vocals like this. He's just so into it and so intense that you can actually hear like the passion in his voice and stuff. He didn't really lose that over the years, but there's some songs where you can tell it's not as prominent as others. I love the drum breaks in it, the breakdown parts. Like I said, I'm not technical. I don't know if that's the right term, but I love it. I love it. Ringo's great on it. When isn't Ringo great, though? Gotta give him his props, for being, making all this stuff up with. They wouldn't be the same without Ringo. Let me just put it that way. The eighth song is Roll Over Beethoven, which is another great rockin' cover with George vocals. I do love the hand claps throughout. I'm a sucker for hand claps, what can I say? It's a fun song. That one's hard to pass up. Whenever it comes up, I always like to sing along with it, and I'm not singing for you. Don't ask me to. That is reserved for a concert environment when there's a lot of people and loudness where no one can hear me, or when I'm in my car by myself. That's it. The ninth song is Hold Me Tight, which is another fun Paul song. Another clapper. Yeah, it always reminds me of one of the opening scenes in the movie Across the Universe. Have you guys seen that one? It's pretty good. It's a little cheesy at parts, but it's fun. Let me put it that way. And it's in a high school dance, and they're all dancing. All the teenagers are dancing and singing along to that song, and it's cute. And if you're not familiar with Across the Universe, a brief synopsis is it's about basically boy meets girl story with all these characters thrown in, and it's a musical, and they all sing Beatles songs to kind of further the story along. So it's not actually the Beatles singing, it's the actors and people singing the songs, but it's fun. It's a cute movie. Number 10 is You Really Got a Hold on Me, which is, of course, another great cover. Another George one. Great harmonies in that, though. If you listen to the three of them singing along, they blend together so perfectly. I think that's a George Martin thing again. They all obviously had been playing together for a long time at that point. Well, not a long time, but you know what I mean. 3-4 years. The three of them, anyway. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've studied Beatle history, so don't get mad at me if I'm wrong. But you guys know what I'm talking about, with Hamburg and, the Cavern Club and all that stuff. That they perfected their sound and everything. But I think George Martin polished them off enough where they sound really great. Um, I like the version of this song in Let It Be. Have you guys seen that yet? If not, it's coming out hopefully this year. We're gonna have a version of it that's not. I don't think it's gonna be like the original that came out, which is something to see if you can get a chance. I'm sure it's online somewhere. But the version in there, it's as tense as that movie it is, it's kind of a fun little throwaway thing that they do together, a little callback, if you were. Do you guys remember when Smokey Robinson sang this on Sesame Street with the big letter U puppet, kind of going around and hugging them and feeling them up and everything? I always think of that when the song comes on, and it's very funny. I love Smokey, and my mom loves Smokey, so that always was a standout to me on Sesame Street, that little skit that they did there. The 11th song is I Want to Be Your Man, which is a great Ringo head bopper rocker song. Like a lot of Ringo songs, And it's a shame they kind of threw it away and gave it to the Stones. Their version isn't as good as Ringo's, obviously. I do like it when he does this live with the All-Star Band. And he sings it the same way as he did, way back when. And he gets all into it. And I think the crowd really likes that one. When I saw Ringo last time, I don't know what it was. It didn't seem like as exciting as years past. I don't know if it was because of the All-Stars he had with him or the crowd. I went to see him at a place called Ravinia, which is in Illinois, and just past O'Hare. And it was a double bill with Mike Love's version of the Beach Boys, and then Ringo and his All-Star Band were the headliners. Mike Love and the Beach Boys, as much as I don't like Mike Love, he was hit after hit after hit after hit, and he kept the crowd going. They were really into it, singing along, dancing, throwing beach balls all around and all that stuff. And literally, when Ringo came on, people started to pack their stuff and leave. Now, if you're not familiar with Ravinia, they have seating in the front, and then there's a lawn section in the back, and you could bring picnic tables, blankets, chairs, your own food. People bring candelabras and wine and all this other stuff. It's a unique place, and it's really fun. But, it's a little weird to see people with tables with tablecloths and candelabras and, like, real glassware and everything like that. They really make a big deal out of it. And I guess especially that because it was, two bands in one. But I hate to say it, but I did prefer the Beach Boys on that show over Ringo and the All-Stars. I just, and I wish he would stop singing You're 16, because, come on, that song is not appropriate these days anymore. I mean, it wasn't back then either, but I mean, especially now, gotta get woke, Ringo. Come on, snap out of it, bud. Anyway, let's keep going here. We're almost done. Number 12 is Devil in Our Heart, which the George thick accent is back on this song. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he lost it for the other two and why it came back for this one. It's still cute. You have to, when you sing along, you kind of have to imitate him, though. It's a rule, by the way. I kind of skip it, even though it's a fun song. It's just not really, you have to be in the mood for it. It's one of those, which is hardly ever for me. Sorry, George fans. If you like this one, I apologize, but not really. Again, my opinion. Number 13 is Not a Second Time, which is an almost forgettable song. This is not one that really pops up into my head at all. Even like, you get songs in your head. This is definitely one that never comes up. It has a pretty good George Martin piano solo, if you're into George Martin piano solos. I'm assuming it's George Martin. It could be Paul, but it sounds like George Martin. And that's about it for that one. And then the closing song is Money, That's What I Want, which is another great John Screamer, another good Motown cover. They kind of excelled at those a lot of the times, right? Um, Good dance song. A lot of fun to sing along with. Um, it's got that hard driving guitar and drums and everything in it. So that helps with that. And it's a great way to end your album. And you want more when you hear it. Now, I know there's some song differences between Meet the Beatles and With the Beatles. This was for With the Beatles. But for the most part, they're the same. And what a great way to come to America with Meet the Beatles and have such a strong, you know, debut album. I mean, how can you beat that? I mean, that's why a lot of people are so intimidated by them when they put out their first album, because there's so many great songs on here, and it's so iconic. You know, that album cover with the four of them just in the black and white pose with the turtlenecks and just like their floating heads. You guys know it. I don't, I have to show you. You guys know, you're watching this. You know what it looks like. Um, but yeah, I think as a whole, 9 out of 10. Giving it a couple points off for a couple of the skippable songs. But overall, great album. You can listen to it all the way through without skipping and be very satisfied. Get your Beatles fix in. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll be back with another Beatles review soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Comment below what your feelings are on Meet the Beatles and With the Beatles. If I missed anything, if you have any differing opinions, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Take care.